welcome back to the Prosperity with Purpose podcast. I'm Jessica Heffley, and today we're talking about why people hire or don't hire a coach. Oh, wait, I've got these. But first, do you hear that? Do you hear that noise? Those are my chickens. No, I'm just kidding. But I did, if you're following me on social media, on Instagram, I have been inviting you into my baby chicken saga. We started with 14. You'll have to go there and listen to the rest. But okay, here's the phrase that keeps people stuck. I should have this figured out by now. I should have this figured out by now. Or I'm just going to figure it out on my own. Those phrases will keep you in a 2x hustle, 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 grind, 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 barely getting by, overwhelmed, got your hand in all the things and hardly ever resting. Okay? Because you're continue to stay in the story or stay in the shame of, I should have this figured out. I should have this figured out. I should be able to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out on my own. Okay. People look at me and they're like, oh, Jessica, like I could never be like you, or you're so successful, or you're so emotionally stable, or all these things. I'm like, yeah, girl, just get started, because I've invested 15 years of coaching and therapy and learning on topics that have helped me become a more wholehearted person. Okay, think about this. If you think of CEOs of high-level corporations, I want you to think of Olympic athletes. I want you to think of like the top coach even in the world. We would be considered like, in the secular world, think of like even Tony Robbins, okay, for example. Those people, you look at them and you would think they are the best of the best of the best. They have billion-dollar Fortune 500 companies, okay, the CEOs that I'm talking about. They win multiple gold medals in the Olympics. They're the best of the best of the best. Or Tony Robbins, who, charges hundreds of $1,000s for his programs. Thousands and thousands of people flock to his in-person events. You would think, oh, look at him. He's the best coach ever. All three of those different categories have coaches. The CEO of Fortune 500 companies have coaches. Olympians who earn gold medals have coaches. Tony Robbins, who is the best of the best of the best coach, has 7 different coaches. Light bulb! Okay, it's not about trying to figure out on your own. They are aware that in order to improve, in order to go to the next level, in order to have a life they truly want, not something they're stuck in or not something they hate about their job, but to truly enjoy it from a place of purpose, from a place of service, that they need some help. They need somebody with an outside perspective. They need somebody challenging the old ways, their old thoughts, their old ways of thinking. Someone challenging the story that they're living into currently because they think they have no agency over it. They think this is just life. I don't have any time. I don't have enough money. My business isn't growing. My team's not doing this. Instead of coming from a completely different angle of awareness, a completely different angle of motivation, and honestly, a completely different way of viewing your emotions. Okay, so I was thinking about this topic for doing this podcast episode. And I made a list of all the different coaches over the years in the different areas that I personally have coached in. Another area and I'm going to show you those in just a second, but another area that keeps people stuck is they view coaching as a cost or as an expense instead of an investment. Hear me. You are good soil. Good soil is worth investing in, because when you invest in good soil, it multiplies. And when you invest in you, it does not just affect you. It affects everybody you come in contact with. It affects your children, your spouse, your church, your community, your school, your business. Okay, by you investing in you, you actually are investing in hundreds, thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of people's results because of how you are investing in you. This is so fascinating. It's like such an abundant way to view this. It's not what am I going to lose? What money am I going to lose from this? But it's what do I have to gain? What is the growth there? What is the excitement there? What is the results that I can produce from this? And something very special happens when you actually invest income into it. There's this beautiful concept I love that's like the exchange of value. When you invest in something, it's exchanging value for value. So you're paying an amount of money to receive value in exchange. That number is ambiguous. Go back to the very first episode of my Money Mindset podcast. If you're like, oh, well, that costs a lot, or oh, that doesn't cost very much. What if money is neutral and there's no like too much or not enough amount? Okay, first, let's start doing that. But in an exchange, you receive something. And so when I personally invest money into a coaching program, into learning something new, I believe that I will receive something in exchange. I'm going to get out of this exactly what I need. That is what I go into every training. Anytime that I am there to learn something new, I have the expectation I am going to get out of this exactly what I need. And that sets the stage for me, because when I come in with the posture of, oh, this person ain't going to teach me anything. Oh, I already know that. Oh, I've heard that before. Oh, do you understand how closed off that is? And yeah, you'll get exactly what you were thinking you're going to get. Oh, I didn't get anything new from that. I didn't get anything new from that. Or the other person, or me, when I walk into a training, I'm like, I am going to get out of this exactly what I need. I'm either going to learn something new, I'm going to have a breakthrough, I'm going to be reminded of something I already knew, but I'm going to be reminded to implement it or teach somebody else it, or it's going to fall in a different way because it's a different time, it's a different season in my life. But take that one, borrow that one from me. I'm going to get out of this exactly what I need. Okay, so here's all of the areas that I personally, in the course of my professional history, have hired coaches in. Because I'm always aware of like, if there's an area of my life that I would like to improve, or I notice that I don't have the results that I want in them, or I want to learn something more about, or I want to get better, or I know that it will benefit not just me, but everybody else, I go and hire a coach. Okay. There is something about, and I'm not saying there's nothing you can't get for free. My podcast is free. Y'all are getting phenomenal free content every single week. Do you ever notice like how many podcasts you listen to, how much inspiration you get from Instagram, how much YouTubes you watch, all of these things for free? What a gift. That's so amazing. But I believe that you might be capping yourself, because if everything is an exchange and they're exchanging value for value and it's free, can you imagine exponentially what you would receive when you pay? What the exchange would be for value to value of the income that you put in, the income that you invest in yourself. So here's some areas. I've hired a spiritual coach. Like, that is something that I want insight into. I want to learn more about. I want somebody to mentor me in that area. I want somebody to challenge me in that area. I want somebody to help me see things in a different light, who's smarter than me in the area, to teach me things biblically. And so I've hired a coach. Physically, when I didn't have results, I've hired a macros coach. I've hired a personal trainer coach. Like, in different seasons, that's what I needed in that season. And I got out of it exactly what I needed. Did I leave those sessions with a bodybuilder body? Oh my gosh, I am the best. Like, I'm going to go do competitions? No, because I didn't put in the effort to get that results. And so I'm taking full ownership of that. And one of my, actually an episode coming up here is going to be about a lot of shame I had around starting and stopping exercise, and the recent breakthrough I had because I talked to my coach about it. So stay tuned to that next episode. Okay, business. I've hired business coaches. I've hired someone to help look at my business, to ask me questions, to help me be curious, to help me set goals, to help expand my vision, expand my goals, to help me think bigger in the possibilities than I ever have before. I've hired that. I've hired coaches for my mental and emotional health. I did therapy for years. We've done marriage therapy, individual therapy. That truly is, and I love therapy. I love coaching. They both have advantages. Some would say an unfair advantage of mine to be that why I succeeded so quickly in my network marketing company, I truly believe, is the years of therapy I did even before I started, because it allowed me to already have worked through some people pleasing, already to work through some boundaries, all ready to work on my self-concept, all ready to be more confident in who I am, all ready to not avoid uncomfortable conversations or uncomfortable feelings. And so that really, I truly believe that was an unfair advantage. I was able to work through things quicker. I was able to bounce back. I was able to identify fear and move forward in spite of it or because of it. And I just feel I got my Christian life coaching certification about a year, almost 2 years ago now. And that accelerated everything from that, from a so much quicker perspective. I felt so empowered to then have the tools to help myself. Like what I did in 10 years of therapy from just 6 months of my life coaching certification, I felt like I was a completely transformed person in a lesser amount of time with the tools that life coaching provided me to help my life and business move forward. Okay, I've hired financial coaches, people to look at our numbers, to people to help us with a spending plan, people to help us with investing. People recently have hired a CFO to kind of do a high level of looking at each one of our businesses and being really honest with our numbers, where we're at, where we want to go, what changes have to be made, what are some things that we can implement to help increase revenue. It's been really, really, really helpful. I've paid for a sourdough class, y'all. It was something I wasn't good at that I wanted to learn about. So I paid for somebody, and it wasn't like, oh, let me go find everything for free. You can find everything in the world for free. Okay. But I really think there is something that happens when you invest the money. You're going to pay attention more than likely. Not everybody, because you're going to get out of it exactly what you need. Even if you don't pay attention, you will learn that, oh, I paid money for that. I didn't do anything with that. That kind of hurt. Maybe I won't do that again next time. Maybe I will actually put the time and effort in when I put the money in. Okay. But also, side note, let me put my note here so I don't forget where I was. A lot of people join my program and mentorship. This is fascinating to some people, but it's not fascinating to me. It's just real life. People invest. It's $2,500 to be in my mentorship, my 12-week mentorship. And it is fascinating because there are some people who never watch any of the trainings and they invested $2,500. They don't show up for coaching. They may have shown up once for coaching. Then I have some people who watch everything, who come to coaching every single week and raise their hand every single time, and they get what they came for. And I trust that each one of them, although like in my element of control, I'm like, well, of course I wish they would watch everything, and I wish they would get coached, and I wish they would raise their hand. They would have so much more breakthrough. I know that I can help them. But there is this element of trust. Like, I trust that they got exactly what they came for. I trust that they could come to one coaching session and they could receive one nugget that absolutely changes the trajectory of their life forever. And then they could even go on and say, I didn't get anything from that program. I only went to one coaching session. And I'm over there like, well, I mean, you got what you came for. You got that one breakthrough. You had the ability to come to coaching every single week, to raise your hand when it felt scary every single time. Some do, some don't. But I believe that they all receive exactly what they came for. I believe that they're going to get out of it exactly what they need in that season. There will be life lessons that they will look back on that and think, oh, I'm so proud that I showed up for every single thing. I got so many breakthroughs. That was the best program I've ever been a part of. Or their thought may be, I went to one session, but that one session changed my life forever. And what an abundant way to look at it. What an expansive way to view how you invest in yourself and how you invest your income. Because shame, I'll tell you what, it's not going to give you the results or not going to give you what you came for. If you shame and condemn yourself, like, oh my gosh, I should have shown. I didn't show up big enough. I didn't get coached big enough. I didn't get coached enough. I wasted that money. I'm such a bad steward. Where is that getting you? That is getting you. That is sucking you down the shame cycle. Let me find my. We don't do shame over here. We do compassion and curiosity, and we learn and we move forward. Okay, back to other things I've learned. Social media. I've hired a coach for social media. This is also so fascinating. Going back to the very first line of people who are like, I should have this figured out, or I can figure it out on my own. Okay, this is fascinating. Think again of the Olympic athletes, okay? They're not hiring a coach because they're not bad at what they do. They're really good at what they do. They're better than most people at what they do. They hire a coach to go even further. So actually, when is the last time you allowed someone to challenge you to go even further? This is such a trap of especially successful high achievers. They're like, I've already achieved so much. I've already gotten to this rank. I'm already making more money than I ever imagined possible when I graduated college. And they just like cack themselves because no one's, they're not allowing anybody to speak into them, to challenge them, to give them more of an expansive view of things. I think I'm pretty good at social media. It's gotten me pretty far in life. That doesn't mean that I can't do better at it or improve at it or go to 2.0 level at it. Podcasting. I was in a mastermind last year all around podcasting, learning how to do that better, learning how to get your message out there, the SEO, the different behind the scenes things to like upload it all into. Thankfully, I've hired all of that out. I'm working in my zone of genius. I show up, I record the podcast. I've got somebody who edits it. I have somebody who puts out the show notes in the email and uploads it into Libsyn and gets it on Pinterest and gets it on LinkedIn and gets it on YouTube. And then I have somebody else who is helping with my social media, with my podcast Facebook group, with my Instagram, with turning some clips into these podcast episodes into reels, to making quote graphics, to putting more information out there for there. So I love it. Like, I feel like I've arrived, but I haven't arrived. There's always the next level. But I am truly people. I also, this is so fascinating because I also used to look at highly successful people and be like, they have got to be a hot mess behind the scenes because that's going to take so much time. Everything, they look like they're so calm and collected, but I'm like, oh, I am more than I ever have been in my life because I've learned how to operate and I'm learning how to operate in my zone of genius, the thing that only I can do, and I delegate out all the rest of the things. Now you may be thinking, oh, must be nice. She can afford that, or must be nice. That takes forever to hire those people. I'm going to check you on that because yeah, you'll keep living into that story. The Who Not How is an excellent book on that. And all my life, most of my life, and I'm still evolving in this, I just hired people to kind of keep my head above water. Like, oh, I need somebody to do some of these tasks I don't want to do. Just please do these things, just handing off some things without any purpose and without any goals in it. And now, very recently, I am learning that I have got to hire people and give them goals, give them deadlines, give them specific things to be working towards to help my business grow, not just to hand things off on them, but to have them working in their zone of genius, doing something that they're good at, doing something I don't have to train them in. They already know how to do, and they're good at it, and they want to do it. And a scarcity trap also is like, I don't know if I could find anybody who would actually want to do that for me. That was one of my first growth mindsets when I first hired a housekeeper. I'm like, I feel bad. They're like going to be cleaning my floors and mopping like my floors. Like, I feel bad about that. And I was like, no, that is such a scarcity way to think. They want to do that. My house cleaner, that is what she does for a living. She is good at it. She is fast at it. She makes good money at it. And I don't have to do it. And so I am able to bless somebody with a job, bless the economy, bless another family. And I get to work in my zone of genius with you, putting out podcasts, putting out trainings to my membership, putting out coaching inside of my membership. And then somebody else gets to do that. And it's like win-win-win for everybody. What a beautiful, expansive way to look at it. Okay. Parenting. I've paid for parenting classes, parenting coach to help me with some certain situations with my children because I want to stop being like, oh, I'll just figure it out. I don't have time for that. My children are growing fast. You don't have time to waste in the area where you are wanting to experience growth. And there's no, where did this concept of shame come from around getting help? Okay, let me release that from you in the name of Jesus. Getting help is one of the healthiest, best, humblest, wisest things that you could ever do. Like, stop living on an island trying to figure it out on your own. Like, it is so wise and expansive and fun to invest in an area, to put your time, attention, resources, money into something that you want a different result in. That's wisdom. I don't have my Bible's over in the kitchen. Henry Cloud, he came to our mastermind last year for 3-Star Mind Mastermind Above with Plexus. And there's a verse in Proverbs that says, Seek out wisdom at all costs. Like, pay for wisdom. I can't. I'll find it and put it in the show notes. For actually, let me pause this. Let me go find it. Okay, I found it. It's Proverbs 4:7-9 in the Passion Translation. It says, "Wisdom is the most valuable commodity, so buy it." That is my motto in life. Like, if you've read the book of Proverbs, it is all about wisdom. You can find lots of great free business wisdom in there. But I've utilized that. I'm like, oh, I need wisdom. Oh, this talks a lot about wisdom. Oh, I need some more wisdom in these areas. I want to go hire a coach because it is that important that I am going to spend money on it. I am going to invest in it because I believe in the results that it can provide. Okay, time management. I have invested in coaches to help me with time management. I've been hiring. I've invested in programs that help me know how to hire and what to hire, how to hire, questions to ask in an interview, all that good stuff. I've hired to learn how to speak, be a public speaker. That was not a natural gifting of mine. I've had opportunities to do that within my network marketing company and other areas. And so I wanted to steward that well. I wanted to get better at something that was absolutely terrifying to me. And there are so many people who are way better at it than me. And so having their wisdom, there also is something called a slipstream, y'all. Like, when you come under the wisdom or the teaching of somebody that has gone before you, you can then accomplish things faster than they did. So things that took me 15, I've been investing in this stuff. I say 15 years. That's how long I've been married. But I loved personal growth and development books even before that. When I was in college, I was reading stuff like I only read nonfiction. I've actually probably read less than 3 fiction books as an adult. Like, I love it. And so that's also incredibly important. Who are you under? Like, who is the teacher? Are they at the top of their company? Are they the top of the area? Do they have a life that you want to have? Have they created more peace to make more money? Like, they will impart, like, it's a natural impartation to learn underneath them, to seek guidance from them, to be coached from them, because they've had breakthroughs in that area. So they have agency to help you have breakthroughs in those areas yourself. Okay, marriage. We've invested lots in our marriage, in therapy, coaching, intensives, like thousands and thousands of dollars in that area because it's important to us. And because we got tired and worn out of just trying to figure it out on our own. And also, let me dismiss this lie. Like, you may have done some coaching or got some therapy or got some worked on an area of your life years ago. And then it's years later and you're like, well, shoot, I thought I already worked through all that stuff. I can't spend money on that again. Like, I got to figure this out. Like, that is such a scarce way to think about it. A beautiful, expansive way to think about it would be like, this makes perfect sense. I'm a completely different person than I was years ago now. I have different challenges, different invitations, different opportunities. I'm a different person. The people in my life are different people. Or you're finding like, oh, wait, I'm the exact same. They're the exact same. They're still annoying me. There's onions. It's layers to the onion. And it's always an invitation to bring before the Holy Spirit. I also believe it's incredibly important who you learn from a spiritual aspect. Just being careful about who speaks into your life and how and why. Everything that I do and teach from is from a biblical perspective, and I do not apologize for that. There will be scripture, there will be vision exercises, there will be freedom prayer. We're going to hear from the Lord in your life and business, because that voice, it should be the loudest and most important, way over mine always. Okay, homeschooling. I have debated it in the past. It's always a possibility for us in the future. The kids are at a good Christian school right now, but I reevaluate that every year based on my children's needs, based on the friends, the things that they're exposed to, based on that's an individual decision. But I've already gone ahead of the game and kind of learned some things about that because I don't know anything about that. And so yes, I have ADD tendencies. I could binge YouTube and blogs for days and days and days and days and days and learn a lot about those things. It could save me tons of time, which time is money. Let me say that again. Time is money, and get that from a coach. Okay, natural health. I have invested money. That's an area that is like intriguing to me. I love learning about it. I love living off the grid. I love natural alternatives. It's why I am with the original gut health company, Plexus, because it focuses on the root cause of so many different illnesses that people think it's their lot in life, that they have this autoimmune disease or whatever that the doctor said, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. There is something you can do by going to the root cause, not something that a medication can fix, but the root natural cause can provide a lot of healing. I love learning about that. Dreams, like I have dreams in certain seasons. And so that's not something I knew much about. So I've invested in I took a course and had coaching and got lots of help with interpreting, like learning about my dreams, like literally at night, like what those mean, how God speaks to us. By the way, did you know that 1/3 of the Bible is dreams, visions, and prophecy? That's a pretty big chunk. That's a chunk that I don't want to ignore just because of my religious background. I want to explore that with new eyes, fresh eyes. I want to get in the scripture myself. I want to read that. I want to learn about that. So anyways, those are, and I'm sure I'm missing some of them. I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars investing in me. So I was talking to some leaders the other day and they're like, how much are you like spending on reinvesting back into your team? Like, are you giving people prizes? Like, what's your budget for that? And I said, without a doubt, the most valuable thing I have spent money on for the growth of my team is me. Is the coaching that I have received, which then I in turn can go and coach them. When I become healthier, they become healthier. It's a natural outpouring of who you are and how you lead. This is the decree that we say every single time when we start any lesson or any coaching inside of my Prosperity with Purpose Mentorship. We say this decree out loud together. We set the intention. I prosper as I cast off old entanglements and run freely in abundance, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and financially, as I empower others to do the same. Wholeness is a natural outpouring of who I am and how I lead. That is what I have been running after, wholeness. That is what anybody who interacts with me, who is in my coaching program on my team, that will be a natural outpouring that they will receive because of what I invested, because I wasn't stingy or scarce or thinking I could continuing down the road of, I should be able to figure this out. Or I've invested in the past, like this won't be any different. I've tried everything. I've tried everything before and nothing worked. You live into the story you tell yourself. And I choose to tell myself, I'm going to get out of this exactly what I need. That's how I go into any and everything that I invest my money or my time in. Another thing, sorry, I'm not laughing at you. Maybe I am. Wait, where's my laughing emoji? I am. Okay. Well, I know this is not you, but I have had people before say, well, what would I need therapy for? What would I need a coach for? And I literally want to laugh inside. I know this is not you because you are here. You are growth-minded leaders. That's why you are here. So I know this is not you, but this is always so fascinating to me when someone's like, well, what would I get coached on? I'm like, seriously? Like that person is living in denial because I get coaching all the time. Even though I know the tools, I put this into practice, I have other people, but there's always a next layer for me. But I get coaching all the time. Anytime I notice that I am avoiding something, I take note of it and I get coached on. Anytime I am aware of a really uncomfortable feeling or a sad feeling or an angry feeling or response or something I just can't get over, if there's ever a challenging conversation I need to have or have had and didn't go as planned, or I have been avoiding, if there is a result in a certain area I do not have, if there was like a hard interaction like with my spouse or with my friend or with my family, all of those. If I am fearful of trying something new, fearful of growth, if I am scared of success or scared of going backwards, if I've met my goal and I don't know what to do next, or I didn't hit my goal and that felt really, really, really bad. All of those things are opportunities to get coached and find freedom. But honestly, all of those things that I get coached on are disguised in everyday life circumstances, such as my husband left his underwear on the floor again. He doesn't love me. He doesn't love me. He left his underwear on the floor again. And I noticed how angry it feels. Our couple weeks, 2 episodes before, I couldn't find my jacket. And we were going out the door for a spring break trip and I could not find my jacket. but I was able to notice, oh, that's making me a little bit more heightened than I should be about not being able to find a jacket, which then was an invitation for me to unhook another layer of perfectionism. It is beautiful. And I believe God has called it. God is, I have come to set the captives free. That is his will for us, to unhook us from these things that trigger us, to allow us to live a life of freedom, of service, of purpose, without all these things getting in our way, or without us trying to muscle through and figure it out on our own. It's not about what I can do on my own. It's about how much more of an impact could I make with help. So I am excited for that even greater impact that you are going to make when you hire the coach. I will see you guys inside of Prosperity with Purpose Mentorship.